So the first Minister of State, Dominic Raab, indicates that up to 3 million Hong Kong citizens will have the right to come to this country and possibly stay. 3 million. I want to be clear about that number. And literally within my 3-hour show, I then get a story which says survivors of the Windrush scandal will have to prove beyond reasonable doubt, which I see as a criminal term, that they have lost work and they are entitled to compensation for loss of earnings. It just blew my mind. Riddle me that, Angie.
You know, I think it's a slap in the face. I mean, that's the only way I can describe it, that we are seen as people that do not need any kind of respect at all, even with evidence. You have evidence, right, that we have gone through this scandal. You have seen what you've done to us. You have had cases, you're reporting on it. You've apologized for it. You have said you're going to give compensation. And now we've got to prove unreasonable doubt that this is a case that they will pay compensation for. I have to say this. You see those people in government, they are the lowest form of demons working this country. No, they really are. It's a different type of wicked. I mean, what more do you want? People lost their families to go back to the Caribbean. They couldn't say goodbye. Some people have died over there. We saw the documentary the other day with where Patrick Robinson played the story, and that's just one story. This would be
in limbo.
The best thing I could imagine they would do is pay everybody their compensation for it to go away. Why would you do this? To highlight it, to bring it back again, to say we're still going to treat you like you're the lowest form of people. That's really evil. And when they're talking about Black Lives Matter, they don't want to understand it. This is really where Black Lives Matter comes up again.
Angie, what you've got to understand is this is the slap in the face that we've been having throughout for centuries. Yeah. China, as Eddie always said, it's about the economics. It's about the economics of China. If you can invite 3 million people to come, there'll be no visas required. There'll be no questions asked. And in the middle,
because they got a plan.
In the middle of what's going on with Windrush, you don't see no irony there, no connection, no way anybody would be insulted by this. It shows you where we stand. So you know when everybody's talking about the don't spend a penny on the 7th, right? Don't spend a penny. This heightens why we have to show the economic power that collectively people who think like Black people, people who are Black people, people who respect Black people must highlight the fact that we're spending money. Appreciate it, because that's all they're responding to. You think they want Chinese in there? They don't want them, but they want their money. And you've got to remember, China owns most of England. China and Russia own most of them big buildings that nobody can afford to run in England, right? You've got to remember, it's about the money. So don't go spending your money on things with people who don't respect you, have no connection with you, right? This is what they want to understand. We spend money in this country, yeah? People who love us spend money in this country. We have to respect our own things more.
There's a plan of action. You know, you don't just bring 3 million people in and waiver the visa and say, that's just because we're being nice. You've got a plan in this country to build up the country, to do something in this country. Don't think London West End ain't shutting down for a reason. We've got to be very clear and understand that there is something else happening. And the fact that we have no value to them, we need to see. So, like what you're saying, Curtis, we need to get our value together. You know, and be more.
And look at the language they're using. Look at the language. Beyond a reasonable doubt. That's law language, you know. That's criminal language. That's language they use to define us. Anything they talk about with defining Black people or people from the Caribbean or from Africa, it's language of beyond a reasonable doubt. Can you imagine using that in conversation with somebody you love? Huh? Can you put sugar in my tea? Well, can you prove it beyond a reasonable doubt? What kind of language is that to use with human beings that have done nothing wrong other than be born?